Yeah, appreciate the hopping on last minute, Shane.
Yep, no
and
problem.
also everyone here. Okay, cool. So I think I've said this 4 times now, but it's all good. All right. So as the announcement said, we got news today from Third Web, which is our primary blockchain infrastructure partner, that they had caught on to a vulnerability about 10 days ago and worked on a patch. This vulnerability, unfortunately, is a pretty widespread tool that's used in the Web3 and blockchain space. So we're definitely not the only ones doing this right now. Apparently, folks like Rarible also had to do their own little tweaking. So just to give you an idea of the sense of the scale of the patchwork that went on today. The reason it took so long to get the word out, which by the way I only got word of this today, was because there was no evidence that this vulnerability had been exploited yet. So we did not want to alarm or give anybody any weird ideas, essentially. So essentially what this meant, unfortunately, is we had to lock all the collections. So in blockchain terms, what this means is preventing all transfers, which essentially renders the existing collections useless in terms of resellability. You can still hold on to them, obviously, but we essentially got a nice fancy tool from Third Web to help us migrate and resend all existing tokens, which actually was a pretty well-built tool. It just involved a lot of clicking, and I'm still using it right now to finish re-airdropping a bunch of stuff. I'm at about 80% finished, but all the major collections, so the ones you guys got recently, including Superman 1000, which is being burnt right now, were all cloned over first, so to speak. And I also took care of some of the Dragon collections, which were still up high in value on the secondary market. So everything will be transferred over. However, what this does mean, unfortunately, is obviously all existing listings on Rarible were delisted. That's kind of why there was a maintenance window. Just FYI, if any of you noticed today, the marketplace wasn't up. That was one way for us to try and avoid having anybody, just list something and unfortunately get it delisted right away tonight. So all those listings have been removed behind the scenes right now. All the bids have been canceled. So unfortunately, you'll have to relist them and rebid if you were waiting on something. The other second sort of not so good news is you'll probably have to go and look in your hidden tabs again for your collectibles. Everything was essentially re-airdropped. There may be a few that are still pending just because the network was pretty clogged up throughout the afternoon and this evening. So you may just need to be a little patient. Luckily, the tool they gave us has a good retry mechanism that I've been using, and it seems to be pretty robust, so that's good. What it means for burns, so all the burn supplies, as I said in the message, is not affected. So they were carried over as far as I can tell. So there's no extra burning to do. So if you've already burned for this Thursday, you don't need to again. Unfortunately, that means if you accidentally burned, you can't take it back still. I'm sorry about that. But essentially, we're going to be spending about 24 hours just wrapping all this up, essentially. So that's the one downside. The one good side is it gives me a bit of an opportunity to go back on some of the contracts that were broken. I know there was one, I just can't remember off the top of my head right now which one it was, that had either broken pictures or some missing information. So that gives us an opportunity to re-airdrop those if they were already claimed. But obviously, anything that was not sent out by today, or claimed by today, is not going to just be magically sent out or claimed. So that's the gist of it. Overall, a bit of a Herculean effort on the whole industry. It was quite impressive behind the scenes for anybody who's curious. As someone said, yeah, there's probably millions of Matic and gas fees being paid out right now. So I'm not too we actually probably had the smallest volume needed to be transferred over in terms of reputable IP. So we were pretty lucky on that sense because I've heard of some collections in the hundreds of thousands needed to be migrated over. So yeah, And based on the cost it cost us, I can't imagine what that must be like for smaller projects right now. But it is what we operate in. So luckily, no red flags for now. But do keep an eye on your wallets. If there's anything missing, like I said in the post, do open a ticket. If there's enough questions, maybe we'll do another one of these AMAs sometime in the next couple of days. But so far, we're still on track for Thursday, if that makes anybody sleep better at night today. On that front, there's not much more for me to add on this topic. So if there's anybody who has questions or who's got concerns, please feel free to take this stage right now and ask away. I know we won't be we won't be talking too much about upcoming stuff. Unfortunately, this is really just to focus on this security topic for tonight.
Are you able to see the chat for this, JL?
I'm able to see the chat.
Are you able to see it?
Okay, let me see.
So a couple of questions came up.
Yeah.
The comic guy asked, "Will we not be able to burn moving forward before the drop?" I think you answered that already. You'll still be able to burn.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm actually just going to use the now defunct collection and the new one. So the good thing is when I did this clone task for the Superman 1000 collection, it mirrored all the existing burns over. So if you burn from the old one accidentally instead of the new one, it's okay. I'll be cross-referencing both burn lists, and technically you do it in either or, but I would do it in the first one. I'll only count the ones that are in the first one. So I would recommend you do that there, not in the old one, to avoid any kind of last minute rejinking. Also, how to know which one is the bad one. So I'll share a little example tomorrow. So just so you guys all know, we use Third Web. So I guess we might as well show you guys how we kind of do this while we're fixing this. I'll share tomorrow a link as to how you can actually view the collection page. What's kind of cool about this is that it's another place to see supply as well. Third Web kind of provides these pages just by the fact of creating a contract through them. And so what you'll notice is the collection names will have in brackets locked on their names. So that's viewable on the metadata on the contract itself on the blockchain. But if you go to Third Web, and I'll show everyone how to do it tomorrow on Polygon Scan, that's one of the main markers just to be able to tell. Another one is if you have one, you try to transfer it, you won't be able to. It's going to throw you an error in MetaMask or whatever wallet you use. What does it mean for the metadata with the airdrop? So that was an interesting question. We spoke with the dev team. We obviously didn't want this to affect XP. We're just gonna swap in existing, sorry, not existing, but the new collection addresses into the XP system, and we're just gonna essentially merge together the now defunct collection histories and the new ones. So there might be a day or two's worth of little, hiccups here and there, but overall the swap over is going to be pretty seamless from our perspective. Let's see. Can you push an image update for old to maybe blank it out? That could be an option. The thing is, obviously, we can't change the pictures. We can change some of the metadata, so that is an option. Worth looking into. I won't promise anything right now, but because I'm still trying to finish this. But when I get to it tomorrow, I'll be able to give a verdict on what solutions are easier than others. Was there any other question? I think regarding the metadata, however, the metadata rarity, character name, and all that stuff that is also cloned over 100%. So that's not changing. The token IDs as well are maintained. So if you had token ID 5 in Superman 1000, you now have token ID 5 in Superman 1000 new collection. So you're not gaining or losing your priority in wherever you were. Unfortunately, for those of you who felt you got dealt a bad roll of the dice, you're still gonna have what you had before. Will we have to burn the old collection? That's a good question. Honestly, if you can burden them if you want, I just want to avoid a situation where newcomers kind of get duped or are confused about there being two collections, and that's going to be something to figure out a little bit. I think holding on to them for now is fine. Burning them is fine. It's just I have to figure out a way to make this very clear to newcomers so that they know what they can actually buy. Either way, like I said, you guys won't be able to sell what you had from the previous collections, anyways. So there's not going to be a way for anyone to get fooled. But I'd like this to be tidied up properly, if that makes sense. So I'll have more on that within the next day or two. What about the selling error? We can't post in the marketplace. Unless it's back up again, JPabs. I'm not sure. Let's see, is it back up? No, it's still down. Regarding the selling error, that's been part of what Wearable was working on leading into this week, but everybody got pulled into this last minute. And for the Pepe Expo, the main image made it say depreciated under the title. Yeah, it's an option. I'll have to look because not every collection is set up the same way. It's IP dependent. So in case you guys didn't know that, that's true. So we have a meeting tomorrow where I can bring this up and we'll decide on something. And as for Rarible, I'm going to propose to them that they deny list the previous collection so they can't be relisted. Third Web is dealing directly with OpenSea. They've obviously got a much bigger audience right now, so I think they're trying to figure out their own pickle with this whole mess. So there's going to be a lot of news trickling through the industry in the coming days, I assume. Yeah, so Mr. Comic Guy, they will stay in your wallets. Yeah, we can't get them out of your wallets. They're yours, so they're staying there. And essentially, yes, you'll get a copy of it from a new collection that will be the actual collection. So if we do any holding based allow list stuff, it's not going to be with the old addresses. So if you still have that around, it's not going to bring you any benefit. XP won't be counted from that one. It's going to be from the new one. We're just going to make sure that your existing XP is still summed up with whatever keeps getting counted. So you're still going to have your existing bonuses and progression bonuses and holding bonuses. But yeah. Surprisingly, this was not as catastrophical as we all thought it was in the first minutes we heard about this. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, much appreciated. This was a lot less stressful than we thought.
So do you think everything's going to be straightened out by tomorrow, JL?
In terms of everybody getting their copied collectibles, yes. There may be a situation where one or two collections will have some outstanding airdrops. And in this case, what's even cooler is the tool that Third Web provided us comes with a claim page for each new collection. So if there's any of those lying around, what I'll be doing is I'll also be sharing a link tree. I don't know if you guys noticed, we started using Linktree for some of the toy sites. I'll essentially publish another one with the links of collections that have outstanding claims. This claim page will only let you claim what is yours if you've not received it yet via the airdrop. What I've seen so far as well is their airdrop mechanism retries automatically, so it's possible before I even post this, you'll get your stuff if it's not like sending through. All I know is I keep having to retry some collections like a dozen times for the last 20% to go through. I think that's just a result of the chain being blocked up right now, and this was built pretty seemingly quickly, within 15 days, I think. But it works pretty well.
So I know that our original deadline for burning Superman was tomorrow, the 5th. Is that going to be extended a little bit due to this?
Yeah, yeah. We'll extend to Wednesday night. And did I write the 5th? I meant Wednesday, anyways. Sorry about that. So it'd be Wednesday. Sorry. Yeah. Are the old NFTs safe in our wallets? So that was the one. So you're kind of onto that. That was part of the exploit, from my understanding. It gave a bit of an insight into a potential malicious actor into being able to control sending if the collection was used in combination with other contracts. Now, I'm not saying much because of the same reason we were not allowed to talk about it for most of the afternoon, until enough people had fixed the issue. But essentially, some of our contracts were used in that way, just by the fact that that's how some features work with these contracts. So essentially, that was the main reason we had to lock up these contracts. Otherwise, people would have been able to potentially affect, sending any kind of token that was in escrow and other in like marketplaces and staking, or any kind of like I can't think of the right word, but any kind of collectible that was being held on your behalf in escrow in some way or another, had a chance of being taken out just because of the fact that these were not in your wallets anymore. So that's why all listings are removed. If any of you unfortunately had your tokens in staking, which is a thing for on-chain loans with some of these collectibles, which, by the way, I don't endorse loans on the blockchain, just FYI. But that is a product out there right now. If you were in that bucket, there was a chance that someone could get access to your stuff and get it out of those escrow accounts. So that's why we had to freeze all mechanisms with the contracts that allowed any kind of transfers. But from what Third Web could tell, they were not able to recreate someone taking something out of your wallet. Obviously, it's in your wallet. With this fan exploiter, no. Yeah, well, we were pretty lucky to have Third Web. Honestly, like, I was really impressed with how they handled this, as it was obviously planned and well prepared. I got a call. I think these guys are Pacific time, so I got a call 9 a.m. their time, first thing, kind of thing. And there was not a lot of questions that went unanswered for very long. So definitely a big kudos on their part, which is a very, very cool sign at the start of what we all hope is a nice little bear market. Sorry, not bear market, bull market coming up. This is a very, very healthy sign for the ecosystem, which is really, really nice to see. Some of the people I've talked about this to tonight are also kind of relieved that this is being handled this way by them. And also, so the old NFTs are now safe, that they've been locked. So they're safe, yes, in the sense that they can never be transferred out of your wallet in any shape or form. So you can still burn them, but yeah, they're essentially not resellable at this point, which nulls their value, essentially. Unless you could always hand over your wallet, but I figure you don't want to do that unless you want to kind of. Actually, you may not even be able to do that, depending on yeah. You may actually not even be able to take these and split them across wallets to then sell your wallets. So yeah, they're essentially just they're dead collectibles at this point. They're good nostalgic collectibles. However, if you guys want to hold on to them, I would. I mean, they were still they're still like a first generation McFarlane Toys collectible, if that makes any sense. So then, yeah, if you don't see any utility for them, there's absolutely no harm in burning them at this point. Yeah, because like I said, all the XP and any kind of allow list utility is going to come from the new addresses anyway. So I won't even be looking at those addresses anymore when making allow lists. Yeah, so in the back end in our viewer app, what we're going to be doing is we're essentially going to swap out the old addresses and swap in the new ones. So it'll be pretty seamless. Right now, the viewer app hasn't really detected this whole migration, and to avoid it getting confused and seeing all these airdrops or transfers, um, we're purposely waiting until after we're done all the airdropping to just replace the addresses as they are, or in place rather, and let the viewer app systems kind of restart. And then restart, by that I don't mean restart the XP, just continue as they were, just with new collection address values to monitor for, essentially. So technically, you don't need to worry about the old ones in the viewer app anymore. We'll handle porting them over and or out with the new ones.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions? They're going to type in the chat here. Looks like we may have answered everything. I'm sure there'll be some more questions, and we could just, have you start a ticket, or we could talk in the general chat. So we just appreciate everybody being able to jump on, and yeah, kudos to Jolo and the whole team just for making this happen so quickly. Appreciate it.
No, it's our pleasure, of course, guys.
All right. Last question.
Mine?
What's your favorite collectible? We're going to end on a positive note.
So far, so I'm gonna try to not alpha this too much. So far, my favorite one, honestly, is Nightfall. So that was actually the first one I was fully responsible for, but I thought it was pretty cool. The Violator Necroplasm is a close second, but I'm really digging this Doomsday one, like the way we're burning it. That whole kind of storytelling angle to the burn was actually really liked by Warner Brothers. So some insights there. They really love that stuff. And we also really like that. We also really like that not everybody was into it, because some of you I saw were very reluctant to do away with your Supermans, but others were just diving right into the storytelling part of this. But full candidness, my favorite collectible, which I'm hoping for, is not out yet. So there you go. Yeah. Ah, interesting. No comment. Oh, the breaking, Nightfall, the breaking. Yeah, the breaking. Yeah. And to be fair, that was a pretty tricky drop because we wanted the Venom colors and those Batsuit colors to all match, the combinations. But yeah.
Well, very
What
cool.
about you, Shane?
Actually, you know what? Mine, I mean, my favorite right now is going to be the Violator Necro. But honestly, I'm really looking forward to this Phygital drop with the statue. I'm just what I've seen so far. It just looks amazing, and I'm just excited about moving in that direction to be able to merge the worlds together, and physical and digital. I think that's just an exciting time, and hopefully the start of some exciting stuff to happen in 2024.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that's the one thing about it that was kind of cool. So I know that there has been digital to physical, but I think in this kind of IP, this was a first for this digital, those physical to digital redemption. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, as far
At
as
least,
having a redemption card inside the box, you're absolutely
yeah.
right. We had some things where we had to purchase when the project first started. You could purchase things and then get a digital piece. And then they did that for the dragons as well. But it wasn't something you needed to scratch off a card inside the box. So this is still new territory. So it's always really cool to see experimentation in the space. So that's what I like most.
Yeah, no, same here, same here. Yeah, we're hopefully we're working on a few things around that kind of stuff, which should make the whole experience a lot better. But yeah, yeah, we're getting there. We're almost at a point where we can start talking a lot more. But this obviously this kind of day puts things a little bit behind, but it's all good.
Well, I think this was handled as well as it could be handled. So I appreciate it.
Well, I was just clicking buttons. I can't take the credit on this one.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in and jumping on last minute like this. We appreciate it. And like I said, I'm recording this, so I'll put it up for everybody to be able to see that wasn't able to attend.
Yep, sounds good. Everybody, good night.
All right. Have a good night.